No worries. Just give me the thumbs up when I can swipe. Is the sound and everything okay, Jay? Hi. Okay, I'm just waiting for the thumbs up to start and then I'll get on with it. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Jamie, when everybody's here that needs to be here, can you give me a thumbs up so I can start, please? Can I have thumbs up if everyone can hear me, all right? Or is it just going out random? This is not good. Okay, thumbs up. So people are hearing me. It's just that I've got really a lot of important stuff to say and I just want to hurry up and get on with it. Okay, Jamie, you on here? Cool. Okay. I'm going to start. I'm going to swipe comments, people, because I don't want to be distracted. I've got a lot of stuff that information I've got to get out today. Um, I'm also going to put out a little warning there because some of the stuff that I've got to say is quite disturbing, and I know it's going to seem long-winded, but there is a point to it, and I'm going to be naming names, and um, it all stems back really to 2010. And this was when Holly Greig's case first come about in Aberdeen in Scotland. She was a Down syndrome child that claimed that her father, along with her uncle and other high society members of the public, including the chief of police and what have you, were involved in a paedophile ring and that she'd been repeatedly abused and raped at their hands for quite some time. Her mum brought this to light. A man called Robert Green decided to investigate this further. A lot of people come on board to help. Robert Green was the solicitor in charge, and he started the momentum going to raise awareness of what was going on in Scotland at the time. On board become a woman called Sarah McLeod. She was a BBC for Scotland correspondent, and her boyfriend, a man called John Taylor, who was also known, aka as Stephen Milne. They got on board with Robert Greene and decided to meet up with him, discuss all the evidence that had been, found, etc., and the names of the people involved. Shortly after that meeting, a group was set up. It was called the Holly Greig Hoax Group, and another group called the UK Column. Sarah McLeod and John Taylor had, in fact, hacked all the information from Robert Greene and the rest of the people involved, a woman called Belinda, etc. When the IP traces were done for these people, it turned out that they were government linked. They were from CETA and aerospace in Scotland. At some point in this time, this woman, Sarah McLeod, became linked to a man called Malcolm Blackman and Badda Bing, aka Brian Allen Davis. They helped to bring down the case of Holly Greig, and along with the rest of the trolls, proceeded to put out posters, internet, discrediting everybody involved in the case. They worked alongside 25 members of the elite in Scotland to do that, along with the trolls known as Malcolm Blackman, Joe Public, and some others. At this time, they become aware of Bill Mahoney, Brian Garish, and Chris Whitwer, because they were helping Robert Greene raise awareness for paedophile rings and to assist in the Holly Greig case. So this is where Badda Bing first become aware of Chris Whitwer. It then went on to the Hampstead case, where Malcolm Blackman and Badda Bing and some others decided that they were going to do the exact same thing with the Hampstead case. The Dearman children were seen to be liars. Their mothers were persecuted, as in the same with the Holly Greig. I even have documented evidence of Sarah McLeod inboxing Nigel Oldfield on email, trying to get him and his team involved in discrediting anybody that was involved with any of these cases. She also harassed the parents in these cases. Bearing in mind, she is a BBC correspondent. Panorama did want to do an interview with these people and try to make it public knowledge. However, they were scared off from doing this. Malcolm Blackman then went on to form a group called Anonymous in the UK. There he set up other groups off of that. And when Facebook first came about, there was a thing called Formspring. There they started trolling members of the public, people that were involved in anything that was anti-establishment, frackers, Freeman, anything, Pendragons, all sorts. They also started trolling. They had a group which was called RIP. And in this group, they trolled the victims, and this is where it gets quite disturbing. Parents of children that had been murdered or killed or died, they sent photoshopped pornographic images of children to the parents, along with horrible messages, cutting messages. Malcolm then was asked to leave, the same as Badda Bing was, because Badda Bing was considered to be too abrasive, too narcissistic, that they didn't want him in the Anonymous. At this point, Malcolm Blackman was done with rape. He had tied a girl's hands behind her back and raped her in a field in Bournemouth. This was at a meeting that was supposedly for Anonymous. Anonymous didn't want to be associated with any of these people. They then set up a corporation. It was called The Corporation. And they would do mass attacks and campaigns against mentally handicapped people, sexually harass them with bestiality, necrophilia, child porn pictures that had all been photoshopped. John Taylor was then taken to court for a sexual assault. He was fined and released. Malcolm was taken to court for a sexual assault, a rape of the girl in Bournemouth, and was released. He also revealed the girl's name prior to the court, but got a fine for that. Where to carry on? Right, so these are all people that are related to Badda Bing Circle. Badda Bing also apparently was supposedly, allegedly, high on ketamine one time and interfered with one of his own sons, hence why he doesn't have contact with them. Badda Bing, also known as Brian Allen Davis, secretary, I do believe, is an elected councillor from the Brixham area of the West Country. All of these people have ties to the West Country: Bristol, Plymouth, Weston-super-Mare and Swansea, the Wiltshire area. The name of the woman that I believe is the secretary to Brian Allen Davis goes under the name of Lady Jane Dale. You'll see her in the moderate section of their page. Her name is Victoria Campbell. Other people linked to him are a bloke that Victoria Campbell was with some time ago called Lee Coucher, a man called Fred Davis. I also have the information for Psychodriller, which is the man that originally interviewed Brian Allen Davis about his court interview, his tribunal case, sorry, and the man that filmed that, Andy Pears. Brian started out with a man called Dom. It literally, according to Malcolm, their whole system is to infiltrate any groups of people, to undermine them from the inside out, to psychologically break them down by agitating and basically trolling them to the point of either them removing themselves from that platform or by committing suicide. In his words, they are classed as a win. That is what they set out to do. It was found that Sarah McLeod and John Taylor are shrills. They are people put in by the elite government, whatever you want, MI5, whoever, who come in and infiltrate people that are anti-establishment in order to take them down. I know a lot of people that I've seen in this investigation I've been doing that have said that they believe Badda Bing to be one of these people. I don't think he is. I think he modelled himself on some people and then discarded them when he had enough. He pretends he knows a lot about the law. He doesn't. He's never studied law. The only time he would have studied law is on the internet or from books. But he's never actually been to university or anything to study law. I have noticed on one of his hangouts where I actually saw him abuse another friend of his, a troll, 12-year-old daughter, and then tried to blame the dad for the fact that the daughter shouldn't have been there in the first place listening. He also stated a year ago that he was 30 years old. So I looked for anybody called Brian Allen Davis that was born within 5 years of 1988. There wasn't any. Well, there was a few. There was 3. One of those, however, is a dead child. So if Brian Allen Davis is his real name, and I've looked for every single Brian Allen Davis that has been... I do hope it is one of them ones that I've overlooked and that he isn't using the birth certificate of a dead child, because that child died at 7 months old in the Wells area. I have got a lot of people that are possible family links in the Bristol area. I've got pictures of people that look very similar to him. I've got other Facebook pages of other people that are linked to him. I have screenshots and stuff of other documents and what have you. I by no means mean anyone to cause this man harm. What I do not like is the fact that this man decided to come into our community and take down decent people in our community with his self-righteous attitude. He's known nothing about nothing, sense of logic. And I just want Brian Davis to actually say goodbye to the community with a big apology. And to let him know that maybe he ought to look closer to home, because not everybody is as loyal as you think they are. Tips. Secondly, TikTok.